all of the elders, wherever you may be, whatever form you may be found. I once again take the opportunity on behalf of your sons and daughters to assure you that we understand the price that has been paid for us to be treading on this high, holy, and sacred land in our generations. We will vindicate the decisions that you made, and we will write the last chapter of your history. You may be at peace in knowing that we are your eternal, dedicated sons and daughters. All of you, the chosen of the Most High, y'all. And sometimes when you hear the term, you simply need to ask those who use the term, chosen for what?
Right.
And then allow them to bear witness that that is what they have undertaken to do. So you are the chosen, but you're not just a chosen. You are the chosen. Specifically to fulfill the word spoken unto Abraham our father. And in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Honored, stand before you, and to bear witness of your greatness. And may the Holy One of Israel continue to watch over you and bless you and give you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is required to fulfill those words spoken unto Abraham our father. Shalom Aleichem. I know you've thoroughly enjoyed yourselves this week. Have you ever heard physical immortality articulated in the way that our divine scientists are articulating it?
No.
Is there anyone else upon the planet that is articulating physical immortality in that manner?
No, they don't have the DNA.
That makes it clear, the Genesis genome. You feel so inspired, because they make it so real. They make it possible. It's not nebulous, it's not mythical, but it is something that was promised and that can be realized in our generations. And you could just sit, and as Horaliel posed the question, you can just sit and listen to them articulate on these different facets of pursuit of intellect, divine intellect, physical immortality. Physical immortality. And we now have been convinced that not only is it possible, but as we've said, there are those that are walking this planet at this very moment that will live lifespans far beyond anything that has been achieved by the Western world. Some of them are in this room at this very moment.
Wow.
In this room at this very moment. So you can listen to the sons articulate. And that in itself, it does something to your inward parts.
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes you feel a certain kind of way. But now, if I just may, was it Michigan State, Harvard, Yale? I just wanted to. I didn't want to err. I didn't want to err. Madiel and Rofe Yehoshu. I just wanted to be certain. Those great medical schools and those great agricultural universities. I just wanted to be certain, you know, for which of those universities that you matriculate through? Sar Yadiel?
None.
Oh, boy. And Rofe Yehoshua?
None of them. None at all.
So now, what is the source? I mean, now you've heard them. Now, what do you attribute? Who do you attribute that type of intellect to? Now, it did not exist where it could be brought before a people where it would be comprehended in the manner that they make us comprehend it.
Right.
So it is obvious that Yah Yisrael, in that divine communication, you know, that receiving, you know, and the processing and disseminating information, that it is happening right now, because who gets the credit except that we go back once again to the invisible force. The invisible force. So, okay, the Father, great, you know, but then where did he get it? It all still goes back. You know, so the reality of it, you know, that it didn't originate with me, you know, so that always that, you know, that we always have to remember, you know, that the shepherd of shepherds, the king of kings, the priest of priests, you know. So that it all still goes back to another source, to another source. So we're so thankful, eternally thankful, you know, to the scholarship body, to the priesthood body, to the sainthood body, to everybody in the kingdom, to the whole body.
It make us feel good. Nobody.
So what I'm going to do, very brief this evening, because you know that I know it's been extraordinary, you know, and we're so thankful to have these institutions and these great individuals, you know, in our generations bearing witness that you're Chai, witness that you're Chai. And what I'm going to do in brevity, I want to speak about in measure, a profound process leading to the whole, part 2. In measure, a profound process leading to the whole, part 2. And I would like for the reader to read from the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter and the 11th verse. The book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter and the 11th verse.
Reads on this wise: For I am with thee, saith Yah, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
In measure, but I will correct thee in measure. A profound process, you know, strategically calculated and laid out by Yah Yisrael. I will correct you in measure. Step by step, piece by piece. Over these generations, that is exactly what Yah has done for us and to us. So, where are we? I'd like to share an article here, a portion of this article, so that you are clear what is taking place, the ultimate objective of science today in the Western world. The ultimate objective of science today in the Western world. And the headline, it reads,
Will science someday rule out the possibility of God?
so that you understood, that you're clear. Will science one day rule out the possibility of God. So that you understand what is taking place, just a little beneath the headlines in the small print. The objective is to rule out the possibility of God. Listen to this. Over the past few centuries, science can be said to have gradually chipped away at the traditional grounds for believing in God. Gradually chipped away in measure. Gradually chipped away at the traditional grounds for even believing in God. In measure. Because he's extracting all of this. He knew that to set up, that's why he has the 3-year plan, the 5-year plan, in measure. Much of what once seemed mysterious, the existence of humanity, the life-bearing perfection of Earth, the workings of the universe, can now be explained by biology, astronomy, physics, and other domains of science. Although cosmic mysteries remain, Sean Carroll, a theoretical cosmologist at the California Institute of Technology, says, there's good reason to think science will ultimately arrive at a complete understanding of the universe that leaves no grounds for God whatsoever. But now go back to a term that he used there. Will ultimately arrive at a complete understanding. Now, where are we? Who else is talking about a complete? The whole. Now, here we are, but this is two different scenarios. This is the human and the Adamic civilization and the humanity. Says that the complete. And we're saying now that we're so close to it now that this final thrust to put those last pieces together. There's good reason to think that the sons and daughters of Yah will ultimately arrive at a complete, at a whole understanding of the universe that leaves no explanation except that Yah Chai. That the only way that you can conclude it at the end when you put it all together, that it have to be another force, another source. There is no way when you put it all together on this path that you could draw any other conclusion except that you're living.
Right.
A complete, the whole. They're in search of the whole. We're in search of the whole. Putting these final pieces together. Our objective to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Yochai, their objective to rule out the possibility that he even exists.
Right.
There they are. There they are. Carroll argues that God's sphere of influence has shrunk drastically in modern times during the dominion of the Western world.
Right.
As physics and cosmology have expanded in their ability to explain the origin and evolution of the universe. Now listen to this, quote, as we learn more about the universe, there's less and less need to look outside it for help. As they learn more and more, it says there will be less and less need for you to seek any other source except science for help. Do we understand? We understand their objective and our objective and how, and in the days of these kings and in the days of these scientists, shall Yah Yisrael establish a body of truth scientists. Truth literate scientists. And they will put it all together. They will put all of the pieces together. And when they have put all of the pieces together, they will verify beyond the shadow of a doubt that Yah lives, that Yah Chai. In the days of these scientists, truth scientists are walking this planet. Truth scientists are researching plants of renown. Truth scientists are articulating physical immortality. Truth scientists are articulating truth. They found their way back to Yah, Elohei HaEmet, the people. Zera HaEmet, Yikra'uhu Be'emet, and truth cast to the ground shall bear fruit. They're looking on Mars, and we're planting in the soil, and it will come forth from the soil, the same source that we sprang forth from. So, profound measure, I will correct you in measure. In the days of Noah, when Noah was teaching, undoubtedly there were two positions that were being expounded. Understand Noah. Noah was not teaching the people that there was some evil that was yet to happen or to occur. Noah was reminding them that the evil that was required for the next phase, it had already come to pass. That what is it that you're expecting? What is it that anyone could be looking for? No, what more? I mean, something else to convince you that this is an anti-Yah world, an anti-the Creator dominion. Can't you see that they have created a paradise for evil on this planet? Evil has never had it so good.
Right.
Everything that they imagine that comes to their minds, they can do. So Noah was teaching. He was reminding the people that evil, the required dosage of evil, that there had been an overdose. And he was simply teaching them that it was now time to look forward to a new beginning. To a new beginning. To a new beginning. But there was another voice. And there was the mainstream voice that was telling the people that business as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary has occurred. The mainstream voice. They were marrying, building, buying, and selling. Because the mainstream voice was informing them that it's business as usual. Nothing out of the ordinary is occurring or has occurred. But Noah was teaching the people that something out of the ordinary had occurred. And as a matter of fact, it had reached its cataclysmic end. He was telling them that something, can't you see that civilization, it had ended, and he was telling them it was time to look forward and to project their thoughts toward a new beginning. And that's exactly where we are today. It is time for the families on this earth to project their thoughts toward a new beginning. As in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the restoration of the sons of Adam. There would be a segment of society, the media, the press, the politicians, the wealthy, that would be giving the impression that it was business as usual.
Right.
But there would be another Noahic part of society that would be telling the people that an end has come.
Right.
An end has come. And it is time now to project your thoughts toward a new beginning. And that's why we had to get back to the Genesis, because it's time now for a new beginning. You can't correct this civilization. We have to think now toward a new beginning.
Right.
So here we are again. As in the days of Noah, there's a portion of the society that is warning the people that an end has come. That an end has come. And it is time now, with all of your heart, soul, might, every bit of your energy, your thought processes, to project now toward a new beginning.
Right.
And at the same time that these great men, these great scientists, these truth scientists would be walking this planet, and they would converge. They would converge at Jerusalem, the new Zion, the fountain of living waters, and they would begin to drink. To remember, if you're not truth conscious, you cannot even conceptualize the extent and magnitude of the suffering that exists on this planet. You can't even, it can't be explained. If you're not truth conscious, you can't even conceptualize the state of the planet today. The suffering, the pain, the sickness, the disease. You can't even conceptualize it.
Every living organism.
Every living organism, everything is suffering on this planet. And except that your eyes have been opened by truth, you can't even conceptualize it. That it could even be to that extent. You also have got to understand the thoroughness of deception. You've got to understand the thoroughness of deception. Every point of reference has been corrupted. Deception is in everything. Every place, deception is in it. Every point of reference that it has penetrated it. So you can understand the kind of minds that are going to be required in order to go through this and try to put these pieces together. It's everywhere. The thoroughness of deception. Every point of reference that you go to in that civilization, deception has been there.
Right.
Every point of reference. every institution of learning. All of those who have matriculated through those institutions, every point of reference has been corrupted. So you understand, he says that, I'll correct you in measure. A profound process. Because you can't just go, there's nothing that you can just go blindfolded and reach in and get and use as a point of reference. Nothing. Can't use it as it is. Well, here, take this one. You've got to process it. And you've got to be truth literate. Truth literate. In order to extract what is necessary from it. Says you had to be prepared to receive information and to reject information. A profound process. I will correct you in measure. The vastness of this. The vastness of deception in everything. Agriculture. The deception. Nothing is as it was in the Genesis.
Nothing. They call conventional farming that which uses chemicals.
That's conventional farming now. Music, deception. Dress, deception.
Right.
Institutions of deception. Politicians of deception. Everything. The thoroughness of deception. Isaiah, the 24th chapter, verses 4 through 6. Isaiah, the 24th chapter, verses 4 through 6. Mm-hmm.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
Everything says the earth mourneth. The earth is in sackcloth and ashes. Mourneth, and it is what? Fadeth away. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. In other words, that right before your eyes, the prophet says that if you don't wake up soon, it'll be gone. If you do not wake up soon, it'll be gone. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. Mm-hmm.
The world languisheth and fadeth away.
The world, the entire world fadeth away. Says except that time would be shortened, there would be no flesh left alive. Says that it's all right before our eyes, the earth, the land, the waters, the rivers, the lakes, the ozone. It's all, what is it doing? Right before our eyes, it's all fading away.
Just like that.
All of the ecological systems that support life on the planet, what's happening? They are fading away.
Right.
Right before our eyes are.
The real existential threat.
You have to understand the magnitude of this. It says that the earth fading away. The world fading away. People. I mean, you look and see the mindset of people on this planet today, and you would have to conclude that sanity fading away. Fading away. Fading away. Mm-hmm.
The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
And the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. It's an idea. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Because they have transgressed the law.
And he lets us know what has happened. Remember Daniel 7:25? And they would think to change times and laws. They have transgressed the eternal laws that govern this planet.
Change the ordinance.
Change the ordinances for the day, the week, the month, the year.
Broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth.
Says, and now this idea is devouring the earth. It's a virulent idea. It's pathogenic. It's a pathogenic idea. And if you come under its influence, you're going to get sick. You're going to get a disease.
Wow.
The idea is pathogenic. Real fast, could you explain to us what pathogenic?
Pathogenic, that's the terminology that came out of the Greek world. English, it means pathogen is something that causes disease, something that is not normally present in the normal biochemical reactions of the body. So a pathogen is something that's going to cause something abnormal in the body. And what we know as abnormal will cause problems. So, you know, a pathogenic idea would be an abnormal idea. Because we know in the kingdom we have returned to normalcy.
So it's this is the result of a pathogenic idea. That if you come under its influence, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna have brain damage. You're gonna become abnormal, dysfunctional. You're not going to even be able to understand your place on the planet, your purpose on the planet. And you're going to be part of that which is simply just fading away. To fade away. Changing and gradually vanishing. Gradually vanishing. Back to the top.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
Gradually vanishing. Gradually vanishing right before our eyes. What's left on the planet of the earth that even in your childhood that you knew? The people that even in your childhood, sir, that you knew. I mean, where are they now? I mean, you look now and you say, but we don't know each other. They're gone. Right before your eyes. Disappearing, they're vanishing, fading away, right before our eyes. The relationships, the neighborhood, the community, all of that now has vanished. It's gone. Right before our eyes, it's gone.
The world languisheth and fadeth away.
Fading, gradually vanishing. To lose vitality. To lose vitality. That losing that which was vital. Losing that which was vital to prevent sickness, to achieve physical immortality. All of the things that were vital, that all of that's now is vanishing. It's disappearing, it's fading away. And at some point, except that time is shortened, you wouldn't even be able to put it, you wouldn't be able to find a trace of it.
Right. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
The earth is defiled.
Because they have transgressed the laws.
Why? Transgressed the laws. Daniel 7:25, and they shall think to change times, set times, and laws.
Change the ordinance.
Change the ordinances for the day, the week, the month, the year, The planting cycles, the harvesting cycles, all of that's been changed. The 7-year cycle wherein the land was to rest, all of that's been changed.
Broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth.
Devour. To seize upon and greedily destroy. Devour the earth. To seize, it's an idea that has seized this earth and the people thereon. And greedily. Greed is so prevalent today. Greedily destroying the entire life support system for the sake of profit. Profit.
Isaiah saw that.
Greedily destroy. Why is it happening? Greed. What happened to the waters, the lakes, the rivers? Greed. How did the oceans and the seas become polluted? Greed. Devour the earth.
And they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Fading away.
Fading away.
Disappearing man.
Disappearing man. They're vanishing right before your eyes, and if it don't be the coming of the kingdom, chosen to restore that which is fading away and vanishing. The Genesis now, to bring a new civilization into existence. To project your thoughts toward a new beginning now. That's an idea. The curse. The curse. The curse is an idea. It's an idea that has devoured this earth. It is an idea that has freed greed to the extent that greed is devouring the earth. Who let it out to that extent? I mean, to desire to have that which is necessary is one thing, but greed is devouring the earth today. Greed. They're telling us that the ice caps are melting and that entire lands are going to be lost. And you know what the corporations, what they're projecting? Great mineral resources are under the ice caps.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
They're projecting, they're looking now, talking about the great mineral resources
Exposed now.
that are under the ice caps. Can you imagine that? Greed.
See the destruction, just like you said.
Even they can't even greed is devouring the earth. So you've got to understand, you've got to project your thoughts toward a new beginning now. I know, needing trying to get deeper and deeper into that world. That's all that you can do, is get deeper and deeper. But it's now time to come up now and get higher and higher. There's nothing now to do except that we now project our thoughts toward a new beginning. All of our heart, soul, and might now has to go toward a new beginning. We're back now in the Genesis idea. That all the families of the earth, all of these families under this idea have been what? Cursed. But the promise, Abraham our father, that all the families of the earth would be blessed, and in thy seed. Obviously, this is not the seed that he was referring to. There is a seed that has brought the curses upon the planet, and there is a seed, an idea that will bring blessings to the inhabitants on this planet.
Yes.
Restore sanity. They're trying to cut off your access to the Creator. Trying to cut off that access, that contact with Yah, the Creator, to convince you there's no need in looking out there for any help. That just check the science. Only the scientists can help. They can solve all of the problems. So we find this great transformation. Our captivity would bring us into a new world. Now, you've heard this term quite often. Remember, they speak of that when the Europeans were establishing the Americas, they said that they were coming into the new world. The new world. That our captivity would bring us into the new world, wherein lies are woven into the entire fabric of the society. The new world. And they were very accurate because now our world, the old world, the world that they were bringing us out of, was fading away. The power, the understanding, the dominion of the Adamic civilization was vanishing. And they were bringing us into a new world. They were bringing us into a new world. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verses 36 and 37. They were bringing us into, and they've acknowledged that it was a new world. When the founders, of America, when they were coming over and being brought over, they said they were establishing the new world. And when our captivity brought us into the new world, it would be a world.
36 and 37.
Right.
Yah shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Would bring you into a new world. That neither you nor your fathers, that we couldn't comprehend it. We'd never been under that kind of influence, that kind of a mind, that kind of oppression. We never experienced that. He said, neither you nor your fathers that preceded you.
Didn't know it was new.
Didn't know it was it was a new idea that we were being dominated by. We were brought into a new world. We didn't understand, and it was a new world. It was a new world. It was a world that was on the rise, that was established for our chastisement. It was a world, meaning that the rise of a new idea would become dominant on the planet, and the power centers would shift. All of the ancient power centers were in the east. But the power centers would shift to the west. Read it again.
Yah shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
And there you would become a pagan. And there you would come under the influence of pagan worship. Neither thou nor thy fathers have known. The captivity would bring us into the new world. And he would think to change times and laws. We would come under the influence of a new day, We would come under the influence of a new week. We would come under the influence of a new year. We would come under the influence of new holidays. We would come under the influence of another dominant idea that we couldn't recognize. We had never faced that kind of an experience before. The ideas of a new world that was on the rise. We were brought, our captivity would bring us into the new world. Into the new world. A new set of ordinances to govern by. New ambition. Everything. Mind you now, in the new world, not one of the high holy days escaped the cut.
Right.
Not one of the high holy days escaped the cut. They didn't leave a trace. You came up celebrating Halloween and Christmas. You came up celebrating a new year in January. You came up celebrating a Santa Claus. You came up celebrating a God that didn't exist in antiquity. The whole into a new world representing a whole new idea that we knew not of, neither did our fathers. They'd never been under such an influence. Wait, go on, please.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither Yah shall lead thee.
All under that idea, and this would be our fate. And all that we knew, it would begin to fade away and to vanish. That would be the end result of the application of that idea. And if we do not shorten its time, there will simply be no flesh, no earth, no flesh, no waters, no rivers, no lakes left alive on this planet. Jeremiah, the 6th chapter and the 16th verse. The new world. Lies have been woven into the entire fabric of society. Lies have been woven into the entire fabric of society. Diet, it's all a lie. Agriculture is a lie. Planting, loving, marrying, it's all a lie. The love that they're relating to, it's a lie.
Food is a lie.
Food is a lie. It doesn't nourish. All the people are eating and sick. Why? As a result of what they're eating. And then they'll establish a health food store. And have the big fancy markets over here. And I know on many occasions we said, but what kind of food? Okay, this is a health food store. Well, I mean, what is this? I mean, what is this market over here? That this store is selling health food. Well, what are they selling?
Lies. Their lives are lies.
It's all a lie woven into the entire fabric of society. The new world. Remember, the prophet said, and truth would be what? Swept into the streets. There would be a great house cleaning, remodeling, refurnishing, and truth in all of the history, all of your history is a lie. The vision of salvation, it's a lie. They swept truth into the streets. They would not provide a habitation for truth. Their world was a habitation for lies. The resurrection, all that in the way that it's expounded upon by them, it's a lie. All of it is just a lie woven into every fabric of society. That was the new world. Jeremiah 6:16.
Thus saith Yah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old path, where is the good way.
Says that stand you at a point. Says you're going to have to stop descending. You're going to have to stop and turn around and begin an ascension. You're going to have to stop and turn around.
Ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein.
And walk therein.
And ye shall find rest for your souls.
And ye shall find rest for your souls. You remember the old songs that we used to hear them sing, the parents, our elders used to sing, I just want to rest.
Yeah.
You know, I just want some rest. And they would go into the heaven, you know, where is so-and-so, you know, well,
Rest
they
in
finally, you know, rest in peace, you know. But the prophet said, if you turn around to find rest, says, get on the right path.
Right.
The problem is you're on the wrong path. Stop and seek the old paths. That means to stop and to turn around and head back to the Genesis, and therein you will find rest for your souls. That's what we had to do. We had to cease trying to get deeper and deeper into the new world. Into the new world. That we had to come out of that system and turn around and get back to the Genesis again. A new idea now for our generations. Seek ye the old paths. When the whole of the Genesis idea is restored, when the whole of the Genesis idea is restored, truth will be woven into every aspect of society. Every point of reference will be truth.
Every tree.
When the whole of the Genesis idea is restored, truth will be woven into every aspect, the entire fabric of society. So now, you see the two worlds? You see the two worlds? That truth now, and this is what you were chosen for, to weave this truth now into every fabric of the kingdom of society. Truth now, at every point of reference, it will lead you to explore more truth. Every point of reference in that world, you pick it up and you start exploring, referencing it, and it leads you to deeper and deeper into more lies and more lies and more lies and more lies. But every point of reference in the kingdom, as they continue to explore truth about diet, is going to lead to more truth and truth and truth and truth, just like it led to lies and lies and lies. You would never arrive at physical immortality doing research coming out of their institutions. But you've got to, because every point of reference is going to lead you higher and higher into truth, understanding and the revelations of truth.
Springing out of the earth.
Springing forth out of the earth. Truth. So, we're talking about this whole now. So then we were told, let us go to the book of Isaiah, 28th chapter, and the 10th verse. In measure, a profound process leading to the whole, part 2.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Now, what is this talking about? The remnants in measure. Because it's talking about the remnants of this idea. It doesn't exist in where you can just go and pull the whole.
No.
You know, that it says that little by little, here a little, there a little. And we've been putting these pieces together. Little from here, little from there. And putting this puzzle together. And now we are assured with confidence, perfect confidence, that we see enough of this now, Nazi Emmanuel, that, hey, we can see it.
Picking up the pace.
And we picking up the pace. But I will correct you in measure. It says that why? Because the hidden remnants of an idea that had been scattered to the ends of the earth, the remnants of a people would return to the promised land with the remnants of an idea. The remnants of an idea that had been scattered to the ends of the earth. So you take Mahatma Gandhi, you get a little piece of an idea that has been scattered into those lands. And your generation, you then, being truth literate, would have to take those pieces. First, the ability to discern.
Right.
And in the last days, that the ability to discern. And you would take these pieces, a little piece here, a little piece there, little bit there, a line here, 2 lines there, a paragraph here, and you would begin to assemble this whole.
Right.
In measure. In measure. Read it again.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
Here a little and there a little. Hidden remnants of the Genesis idea. Hidden remnants that have been scattered. And in the last days, a people would be called forth to assemble it. To assemble it. And at the same time, there would be another civilization trying to assemble a whole that would disprove the whole that we're trying to put together. And these two civilizations in Daniel 2 and 44, and in the days of those kings, Yah would establish a kingdom, and these two wholes would clash. They would clash. One is attempting to prove that Yah does not exist, and one is proving that Yah does exist. These holes, and we're right there. Right there. Here a little, and there a little. But in these 40 years, that we put some pieces together on this path. We're looking at it now, Samala. That it's not like it was when it was 5,000 pieces laying out there and somebody saying, put that together. We put these pieces together now. We see it. We see it. We're so inspired and so encouraged now. That, hey, that, and Yah has instructed us in this season now into the journey of the whole. It says, put it together. Put those final pieces together. There he is on the other side trying to put the final pieces together so that you don't have to look outside for no help. Just go to the scientists of that civilization. And we're saying that there will be an eternal need for that source of intellect because we will be the proof as to the source of it. It didn't come from me. It didn't originate in me. But you got it. You don't sound like any other scholars on the planet. You don't articulate physical immortality like anyone else. There has to be another source. It didn't come from Harvard, Yale, Cambridge. Where did it come from? So you can see, in the end, when we put it all together, it will be proof, undeniable, absolute proof that you're high. So they come back to the Father, and I'm telling them, I'm being taught too. I'm being taught too. Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, none. So you see where it's going to lead us? And you see what they're trying to do. To disprove, and we're trying to prove, verify, confirm in the absolute that there is another source of intellect and it exists. And not only that, but you have tapped into it.
Right.
Say it again.
Dominion of truth.
The dominion of truth. Yah Elohei Haemet. Zera Haemet. We communicate in truth. We research in truth. We're led by truth. They're led by lies. You led by truth.
Right. Energized.
Energize. That's real energy.
Real energy.
That's a lie about lies energizing someone. Lies absorb and deplete you of energy.
Right. Need a lie repellent.
Page 25, last paragraph, 26, paragraph 1, up to the word punishment.
The great powers of the West determine the current issues and agendas for the world and the language used by media and politicians that creates the preferred perception. Through corroboration of the Western powers, these issues become the law, rejecting any inference of a righteous, sound mind or conscience. All of the remaining third world leaders are compelled to give them priority approval or risk being labeled a pariah or despot. Thereafter, they are passed to the world's institutions that they dominate with their financial support for universal dissemination.
This is the process.
A great many of the conflicts and problems in our world today
A great many of the problems and the conflicts in the world today
can be attributed to this new reality. These conflicts can be explained not simply as struggles of different identities,
not simply as struggles of different identities,
struggles of people of different races or ethnicities,
or struggles between different peoples or ethnicities,
and not against the people of this degenerate civilization, but against the incorrigible idea.
but against what?
The incorrigible
The
idea.
incorrigible, it doesn't fit, it's not normal. It won't let you be human, won't let you be of the Adamic civilization.
These conflicts can be explained not simply as struggles of different identities, but as struggle against the incorrigible idea the anti-Yah forces are propagating, a struggle for the life the people are losing.
And they feel it,
Fading away.
fading away, vanishing. It's not a struggle of race or ethnicities, but the problem is this idea, no peace. The wicked will never know peace or bring peace. The problem is not that they do not want peace. The majority of the people in this region want peace. But the problem is this dominant idea that will not allow them to come together and to achieve peace. And they then define what peace is. Remember the Camp David Accord? Remember the Camp David Accord? When it was, at that time, Rabin and Sadat that signed the Camp David Accord.
Right.
Now, they signed this peace agreement at the Camp David, called the Camp David Accord. And what was the prize? The prize at the conclusion of the peace agreement, the Camp David Accord, the prize that was given by the Western world, headed up by the U.S., the prize was a promise of
billions and billions of dollars worth of arms.
$4.3 billion in
annually.
arms to Egypt and Israel annually.
Every
This
cent.
is how they concluded. Every cent. This is how they concluded the peace agreement.
Right. That was 1976.
That was 1976.
That's insane.
So you've got to understand, those are not the peacemakers. A promise of $4.3 billion in arms to Egypt and Israel for signing the Camp David Accord.
Right.
Instead of a plan, you would think that would have been a plan to dismantle the armies of Egypt and Israel. Greed.
Peace is a lie. Exception.
This is fact. Peace. They determine the peace. That's how they conclude peace agreements. With more arms.
Right.
That's how they protect the peace. With more arms, more killing, more weapons of destruction, more sophisticated weapons, greater killing capacity weapons.
Actually, there is a superficial understanding emerging that to take the set of priorities,
That to take something is emerging. The set of priorities,
principles,
principles,
or rules
produced
by the Euro-Gentile world
Euro-Gentile world, the new world,
and mechanically declare them binding for all people
and mechanically compel all of the nations to abide by them,
is subjecting the people to compound punishment.
Can you see judgment? All of those individuals are undergoing the judgment. All of them that follow those rules, they will never stop killing. And the people are drawing a conclusion out there, beginning to think that they're keeping us, we're being punished by that idea. They haven't been freed by that idea. They've been brought into captivity by that idea.
Right.
New world. The people on the planet are under the curse. Isn't that what the prophet Isaiah said?
Yes.
But the promise to Abraham, our father, was that in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Blessed.
Blessed. Now all of these things now we can see. The new world. Now the Genesis, restoration of the Genesis idea. And the eternal idea, in this, the Genesis, the eternal idea, there will be no need or no place for religion as a separate institution.
Wow.
Jeremiah 31. In the eternal Genesis idea, there will be no place or need for religion as a separate institution. Spirituality will be synthesized through the entire fabric of society.
Right.
Spirituality will be synthesized throughout the entire fabric of society. So you can see the need for religion, that religion can exist as a separate institution. That truth will be woven into the entire fabric of society. Spirituality will be woven into every facet of society.
Defining element.
The defining element. But now religion exists as a separate institution for spirituality.
Deception.
Well, what is the farmer? What is the baker?
Right.
What is the builder? I mean, that this is a separate institution. Well, how can it be that this is separate from this? But in the eternal idea, spirituality will be synthesized throughout the entire fabric of society. Religion cannot, there will be no need for religion to exist as a separate institution. For what? Because the farmers, religiosity, spirituality will be woven into your work of the soil.
Right.
The physicians, spirituality, you won't have to go someplace else, that you over here and you a divine physician and you go out to some area of religion in order to find out spirituality is woven into your profession. Spirituality is woven, it's synthesized into every profession in the kingdom.
Right.
The guiding force. You don't have to go to another institution. The guiding force in every profession.
Right.
It's truth. It's truth. So we find the prophet Jeremiah in the 31st chapter, verses 33 and 34.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yah, I will put my law in their inward parts.
I will put my law in their inward parts
And write it in their heart.
and write it in their hearts,
And I will be their God.
and I will be Yah unto them,
And they shall be my people.
and they shall be my people.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yah, for they shall all know me.
It should be throughout. You don't have to go to a religious institution to be taught about Yah. If you're a farmer, you're going to be teaching about Yah. Everybody that come into on the land out there is being taught about Yah. If they're going to be a physician, that they don't have to go to a religious institution. They're going to be taught about Yah in divine healing,
Right.
in divine dress. That it will be woven into every fabric of society. It will be synthesized throughout every facet, every profession. Everyone will know Yah.
Right.
The doctor, the lawyer, the farmer, the seamstress. Everybody will be rooted in Yah.
Here's this new world.
In the Genesis idea, this eternal idea, spirituality will be woven into everything. There will be no need for, no place for religion as a separate institution.
It's clear.
Read it again. And they shall.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yah, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yah.
So you go to this church, you go to, hey, come on and learn about, go to the farmer. Notwithstanding that we will have the priesthood.
Right.
But go to the divine physician. The divine physician is going to teach you about Yah.
Right.
The farmer, the seamstress.
Right.
They all, the nutritionists, everybody's going to be talking. All of them are going to know y'all. Not having to go over here to be taught about y'all. Wherever you go in this kingdom, you're going to be taught about y'all. All the fabric of this society, he's woven in. Written in the hearts, for they all shall know him. Not just the pastor, not just the deacon. They all shall know him. Where do you go in this kingdom that you can't get a good lesson on truth?
Go to the playground.
Well, I don't want to hear that. You ought to go over to church, man. You ought to do that. I don't want to hear that. But now, ain't nowhere in the kingdom you can go and not hear this.
You're going to hear it.
Say it again.
You're going to hear it.
You're going to hear it. Sewing center. You're going to hear it. Chad Ochel. You're going to hear it. Basketball court. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The basketball court. You're going to hear it. Say it again. And the whole, this idea, when this whole idea, the Genesis idea, when we put it all together, you won't have to go to a specific institution to be taught about the Creator.
Wow.
They all, every institution, be taught about the Creator. Read it again. That's what the prophet was talking about. They have designated specific institutions where you go and they say, here, come over here and learn about, or come over here and learn, go to this church, go to this, to be, But then you go to the farm and you wonder that, well, if you want to hear that, you go to the, wait a minute, oh no, not in the Genesis idea.
What's in the food?
Say it again.
So what's in the food?
What's in the food?
Right.
I mean, all of it. Everything. Truth is woven into everything. Everything. Ain't nowhere that you can go in this kingdom and somebody's not talking about the law. Notwithstanding that we know that the priests, that they sit over.
Oh yeah.
But you leave out of the priesthood off. You say, well, the priesthood, I'm through with that class now. And then you go down to your house, HaMasheaks, he think through with that class. Oh no, that's a continuation of that class. And he go to your house, not to get on the well. He gonna hear a continuation of that class.
Ain't all one form or the other.
What? Read it again.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith Yah, I will put my law in their inward parts.
Put it in their inward parts.
And write it in their hearts.
And write it in their hearts.
And I will be Yah unto them. They shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yah.
Saying, specifically somebody bringing you to a separate institution. This is where you learn about your, no. And wherever your foot treads in this kingdom, they're going to be talking about your. Can't wait, to sit there, loving to talk and expound on truth. Because it's energy. It gives energy. Lies deplete energy.
For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them.
From the least of them to the great. From who?
Saith Yah.
From the least of them
unto the greatest.
Unto the greatest of them. That whatever their chore is.
Right.
If the children are emptying garbage and you walk along and take that side, they're going to be talking about you. From the least to the greatest. The Genesis idea. In measure, a profound process leading to the whole. And when the Genesis idea is whole, it's going to be woven into the fabric of everything in this kingdom. And then it's going to be woven into the fabric of everything on this planet. Just like lies have been woven into everything, every point of reference is a lie. Every point of reference will lead you higher and higher into development and research in truth. Truth, y'all. Hey, I met. I wanted to take a few moments.
Hallelujah.
We've gone from fading and vanishing. I mean, look up, where y'all come? Where y'all? I mean, no, all that's gone. This is the real resurrection. Oh no, we're not vanishing. All that's been halted now. We're so thankful. So thankful. So that idea, Rofez didn't leave any room for any doubt. That idea, the idea that dominates this planet today, it's pathogenic. It's pathogenic. And everyone that comes under its influence, you're going to be diseased. You're going to become dysfunctional. Right. You're going to become abnormal. Right. And it will lead you farther and farther away from that which is normal. At Master Dean, I've thoroughly enjoyed the Writers' Conference and the few moments that y'all gave me. I'm thankful that, but the great inspiration given me, allowing me to come and to, behold the countenance of the saints, and to be inspired, and I mean that you are my inspiration. You are my inspiration. All right, now you know what to do. All right.